you've done some really incredible things, and not least of all being last year when you won a medal at the Chelsea Flower Show, which I know was a dream of yours. So let's kick off with that. What was it like to do Chelsea?
Um, it was incredible, and I think it still feels really surreal. I don't really think about it much that I won a bronze medal. I find it quite hilarious, really. I mean, I started going to Chelsea Flower Show with my mum when I was about 10, 11. I can still remember. And it was a world away from my everyday childhood. And I think, yeah, it was very strange. And also, without going, well, I'm just going to go into it. So my mum died 2 years ago, and I think about 5 or 6 days before she died, I went to see her in hospital, and I told her I hadn't entered at that point, but I said I'm going to enter Chelsea Flower Show, and she kind of smiled and went, "All right, okay," in a very sort of understated sort of way that Mum did. And I said, I can't remember, something like I'll put your photo, or something, or I'll send you a photo, or something like that. Anyway, and and then entered, and then yeah, and then got bronze. It was quite incredible. But the best part was that your wife embroidered, which which I think is genius. So she embroidered a little circular thing that said, "In honor of my whack job mum." And I remember showing it to so people coming to look round when Chelsea opened. And it was weird because the Americans loved it, but the British were like, "What?" Because we'd kind of hidden it within the
Yeah.
design. You sort of see it, but you couldn't. But anyway, I could, yeah. So Chelsea was insane, but it feels like it was a dream, to be honest.
Do you think you would have? It's interesting. We've had lots of conversations since we both lost a parent, and
Yeah.
I've done lots of things in the last year, like doubling down on my love of wrestling, partly because I kind of after losing my dad, I just kind of really underscored that life's too short not to kind of go after your dreams. Like, do you think that you would have gone for it if you hadn't lost your mum?
Oh, completely, completely. And I think, my mum and I weren't particularly close. So, in a sense, it was more the people around
Mm.
me, my friends, you guys, that, and the community that Stu, my husband, and I have around us that push rather than my family. And I think my mum was so understated anyway. I think she would have been proud, but she wouldn't have shown you in a kind of over the top sort of fashion. So it
No,
wasn't
it's
that. I mean,
like my dad, isn't it? Like we have very similar relationships with our parents. Like neither of us would have got like a glowing flood of emotion probably, but
no, not at all.
they would have been proud in their own kind of quiet, understated ways.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So in a way, it kind of it was, yeah, it was what it was really. I mean, and even the way that the awards were given. So uh, we set up on the weekend. So Saturday, Sunday, there was about six of us, I think, who went to build the design. And then you're told it's like a whisper that goes through the marquee of when the awards are going to happen. No one really knows. Uh, so then then you're told you're not allowed into the marquee, the Great Marquee, on the Monday. You're not allowed to go anywhere near your design, so you don't influence the judges. Like I wouldn't even know who the judges were anyway. Um, and then you're told, we kind of heard, oh yeah, the awards are going to be done they'll be out by about 3 or 4 o'clock, I think. So your wife and I just went around seeing all the famous people because it was press day. So we were just ogling all of the, look, it's Judi Dench. Oh, look, it's Joanna Lumley. And, spot the famous person. And anyway, we kind of got back there about 4 o'clock, nothing, nada. And it was empty. Yeah, there's no one around. Like, oh, right, okay. So every morning in that week, you're told you need to be in the marquee by 6 in the morning, and you need to refresh your design to make sure it looks marvelous every day. And so no judging, no awards on the Monday. I was like, oh, okay, fine, whatever. And then got in at 6 on the Tuesday, and just the awards had appeared.
Oh.
It's like, huh? And so you're there by yourself, half asleep, poking flowers into the design, trying to work out what the heck's going on, and you haven't quite had enough coffee, so it's just meh. And there's this bronze medal. It's like, oh, okay, good. great, well done me. And then you're sort of cracking on and you're having to make everything look marvelous. And then you're like, oh, okay, that's it then. It was very surreal.
That's
So
bizarre, isn't it?
I know, it's really odd.
So there's no presentation.
And then the judges makes it even better on the Tuesday. So Tuesday morning, the general public are in. So it's the marquee is heaving, people all around. And these two sort of middle-aged, I mean, I'm probably middle-aged now, but I don't really care. Two women.
I think we are, Grace. Got to accept it now.
Oh, yeah, speak for yourself. There's two women sort of sidle up behind me and said, hello, we're the judges. And you wouldn't have known them for toffee, you know, they're just sort of two middle-aged women at Chelsea Flower Show. And they get this sort of official clipboard, and said, we're just going to talk through your marks. And I was like, okay, no real introduction, no kind of, I can't think whether they even had RHS sort of badges on. They probably did. And then they just sort of start trotting through all of this stuff. And I said, oh, that, you know, kind of, it was interesting, you know, they would say things like, there was something about the moss on the design. And they said, we felt it should be a brighter green. I was like, well, I wanted to do all British. So the only moss I could get was this grayer colour. And she said, well, the moss in my garden is bright green. Why couldn't you have got some from your garden? What? Anyway, it was just very odd. Yeah. But, you know, it's all part of the magic.